man, it is never truly easy or effortless to fan, right, for this team that seemingly consistently brings a level of heartbreak in the month of January to you out there. And for that and a whole lot more, I empathize with you guys this morning. It is a day after instant reaction live stream after a cat nap. Bear with me today. The English might get tough at some point, but it's that kind of day. We will be live more than we won't be today. We'll begin here. We'll open up the guest lines. I'll share my thoughts the day after, and I'll allow the Ravens to speak for themselves because there were plenty of raw reactions from inside the Ravens locker room that I've cut up and prepared for today. The guest line is open. If you want to share a thought with me this morning, it's currently pinned, the link that is in my live chat. It's brought to you by my friends, the show, by Preston Automotive Group and ZipRecruiter. We'll get to them in just a bit. And of course, Black Monday across the National Football League has already begun with Kevin Stefanski being relieved of his duties in Cleveland. So the Browns are searching for their next head coach. The same can be said for Atlanta. They relieved Raheem Morris of his duties along with their general manager yesterday before even Black Monday began technically. So with all of that said, let's dive in. I've got a lot prepared for you. And of course, the vault will be live at noon as it always is. First, the Baltimore Sun. Here it is on the front cover of the sports section titled Loop Wide Right. Ravens left out. Tyler himself finished up his rookie season in heartbreaking fashion, pushing it wide right from 44 yards out on an attempt that would have sent the Ravens to the postseason as the 4 seed. And they would have hosted a Monday night wild card home playoff game, welcoming the Houston Texans. Instead, it's heartbreak for back-to-back, really. You think about the Mark Andrews play that wasn't a year ago in Buffalo. You can go back even further. Obviously, the AFC Championship, what happened in Cincinnati several years ago at the goal line. It has been heartbreak. It has been gut-wrenching. It has been brutal. And Tyler obviously will be the headline of what didn't go right for the Ravens yesterday. I'll get into everything, and we'll cast a wide net in terms of exactly that. What went wrong for the Ravens in a do-or-die moment in the second half and really all throughout the 4 quarters, particularly the second and third quarters where their offense was non-existent. But facing the music was a rookie. I'm sure in the worst of ways, Tyler did get up there. I know it's a consolation prize, but he did get up there. He faced the music. He was flanked by his 2 teammates, long snapper Nick Moore, holder and punter Jordan Stout, and had this to say after heartbreak.
Before that, just want to say I'm super grateful to Baltimore and the organization, the city, just how they've embraced me this year has been incredible. And just for a time like that sucks. And, I want to do better. And unfortunately, the nature of the job is, you have makes, and those are awesome. And unfortunately, you have misses. And for that to happen tonight sucks. We've been through a lot of adversity this year as a team early on, and we fought, and we worked really hard together. And, those guys have had my back, and, I want to try my best to have theirs. And, it's disappointing and it sucks, but also the nature of the job is I got to move on, and I got to get ready for the next kick. And that's next year. And, tomorrow starts training for that, and, spend the off season and the rest of the time getting ready for that. And, I love this team and I love these guys, and I wish it had ended different. I'm super blessed to be here, and it's been one of the most amazing experiences being a kicker for the Ravens. And it's time to move forward and get back to work so I can keep doing good things for Baltimore. And that's been awesome.
Tyler, was there something technical with the kick that went wrong on it? Should I kick the ground first? Or?
I caught a little bit. Operation was great. It was a great situation, exactly what we wanted, and unfortunately I just mishit the ball. Hit it, we call it hitting it thin. It spins fast and goes off to the right, and that was it.
I certainly credit Tyler and commend him for the courage, the perseverance, the toughness that it takes to get up there and do what he did for 7+ minutes. That interview can be found in full on the Ravens website, on the Ravens YouTube channel. That's where I clipped it from. Again, Nick Moore and Jordan Stout were right behind him, supporting him in that moment. And on a personal level, Tyler's father, Steve, is a subscriber. He is a loyal member of our community. Tyler and Steve, I'm thinking of you. And I know it's going to be a difficult time. But as Derrick Henry said, all of this is temporary. His message, his sentiments, certainly, man, you talk about leadership. Derrick Henry's leadership and the veteran presence that he is was on full display in his post-game media scrum. Listen to this.
Feel for Tyler. I talked to him. I just told him just keep his spirits up. Deal with it tonight, and then tomorrow the sun rises again. I just told him that the story after this is gonna be great for him, because God will put him in this position to use him as an example. To something that is adversity, and then can't wait to see him overcoming on the other side. But I just told him to trust God's plan, man. He would put him in a position he wasn't strong enough to handle it. I know it's tough right now, but I think when it's all said and done, he look back on it and appreciate the moment.
Got a lot of respect for the way that Derrick handled himself, not only all throughout the season, not only last night, but all throughout his future first ballot Hall of Fame career. He has been exceptional. And last night, I thought he was going to waltz into another rushing title. Obviously, the game dictated otherwise in the second half. Jason McCourty, a former NFL player, now turned analyst, made a comment here and an observation on the formation on this attempt by Tyler Loop with 2 seconds to go in the fourth quarter by Pittsburgh. And what he comments on is, and again, it should never come down to this, right? Ultimately, we are nitpicking a bit. We are searching for answers today because of the situation the Ravens put themselves in, okay? That a rookie kicker was tasked with having this entire season and a trip to the postseason on his shoulders. It never should have come down to that. Is he paid to make it from 44 with the game on the line? There's no question about that. Sarah and I got into a heated debate over this discussion last night. I am of the belief, right, that one, the Ravens should have put him in a better position for success, given that it's impossible to simulate and foresee how he's going to handle that type of pressure-packed moment for the first time in his career, right? But it should never come down to that. The Ravens had their chances last night, and we're going to get into all that and where they came up short prior to the ultimate headline-driving shortcoming off of Tyler Foote's. Tyler Foote's. That's the 3-hour cat nap that I had last night. Tyler Loop's foot. But Jason McCourty, just because this is being talked about in some social media circles, Jason notices that there is a Steeler that could very well have been flagged for leveraging on the field goal. They got away with one. Tyler Loop ends up pushing it right, as we all know, from 44. And to put a bow on the evaluation of Tyler Loop's rookie season, which we will discuss, I'm sure, in the coming days, he finishes with a field goal percentage of 88.2. He was 30 for 34 overall. He was perfect between 20 and 29 yards out, 10 for 10. He was perfect between 30 and 39 yards out, 11 for 11. He was 8 for 9 between 40 and 49, meaning he had not missed going into last night between 40 and 49. He made from 40 earlier on in the game, ends up missing, as we all know, from 44 in that game-deciding kick. He was 1 for 4 from 50 or more yards, and he hadn't made in that category since week 1 in Buffalo. He was 44 of 46 this season from extra points, And obviously, the kickoff was an issue for him. The dynamic kickoff, whether it was landing zone issues or just straight up, as we saw last night, inaccuracy, perhaps the lack of true connection consistently on the kickoff, having kicked it out of bounds and given Pittsburgh a short field in the fourth quarter last night. It was a big moment. It was something that Lamar Jackson spoke about in what became one of many unfiltered reactions post-game last night at the podium.
Tyler Loop after the game?
No.
You haven't talked to him?
No, I didn't. I talked to him during the game because I kind of was livid at him when he kicked the ball out of bounds. But I told him, I'm just hyped based on the emotions of the game right now. I felt like it was gonna come down to him, winning the game for us at the end because just how the game was going. He a rookie. It's all good. Just leave it in the past, man.
This is how the game was going right here. Take a look at the win probability chart and just how messy it got post-game, and I should say in crunch time. Just an absurd chart. What even is the right-hand side of this graph? What is that? Is that our hearts? Is that your hearts, Trey? In Columbus, was that the meetup? Was that what it looked like after 11 o'clock when this game was in the bag? Chris Boswell missed an extra point. Keaton Mitchell had a fantastic return. You're setting up a Lamar legacy drive where he barely had to do anything. And then you give Tyler the chance to convert from 44 with the game on the line. Time expired, and ultimately the Ravens season expired. And it was a microcosm of what we had seen more often than not, whether it was the first 5 weeks of putrid defense, whether it was a month without Lamar and the quarterback carousel that was Cooper Rush, then back to Tyler Huntley, then back to Lamar. Then the defense starts to rear its ugly head and mirror in recent weeks what we had seen from the first 5 weeks, or an offense that couldn't get out of its own way and finish in the red zone and protect the football. It was a microcosm, and it had a little bit of everything last night. Super chats are coming in. Captain Hard writes, they sound like they're tired of hearing the same speech after a heartbreak. Roquan kind of said it. Coaching changes have to happen. Too many mental scars. You mentioned Roquan postgame. Again, it's a trend. It was unfiltered. It was raw. It was real. Roquan, among those that fit all of those categories postgame. We will open up the guest lines in just a few short minutes from right now. Roquan at the podium.
It's tough, man, because, there's so many players that go 14, 15 years, how many ever years they play in this game and never truly make it to the playoffs. So making it to the playoffs is a huge accomplishment within itself. But obviously the way this team is built and, the actual reality of it and, the guys that we have, knowing that playoffs is not enough. And, I'm aware of that, and I'm sure anybody that's, real with themselves is aware of that as well. And so it's not enough to get the job done. And, yeah, I hear coach this, coach that, but at the end of the day, coach can be here and there, but it's the players that make the plays on the field and the players who go out there on the field. And when I turn on the film, even play in and play out, I felt like we was in really good calls, and it was about the players actually executing the call and not getting lackadaisical, complacent. So I feel like that's something that we have to work on. I don't know what it is personally, but it's something. It's something where it's just play in and play out. If your job is to do this, why can't you do this, play in and play out, including myself? So I feel like that's something we have to do if we want to ever go and get over the hump. And I don't truly know what it is. And I'm searching for those answers as well, where it's just the mental intensity and carrying that over, play in, play out, into the echo of the whistle, and just line up and doing it again, and having that mindset. Because
man, we're only halfway through this snippet. And while you appreciate the transparency, right, and how direct he's being and unfiltered and raw and real, if this isn't literally right here, the indictment, this is where everything lies. This is the underlying issue right now with the team. Listen to what Roquan's saying. He's the leading tackler in Baltimore. He's been with the organization for several years now. He's experienced this heartbreak. He's been at times a part of the problem within the last couple of years. And they don't know what the issue is. That might be the most revealing part of this entire shortcoming collectively. More from Roquan.
We have to do that if we want to ever get somewhere. And, like, it sucks. I've just finished year 8, so going into year 9 now, and, like, a couple playoff wins, but, like, that's not what you want. You sign up to go for the big boy, the Lombardi, and, like, that starts with winning the division. And, like, we haven't been good enough to do that. And, well, we have, but we haven't played to our standard. Game in, game out, play in and play out. So I think it's just something that we all have to look ourselves in the mirror and, like, just be in touch with our reality and use this as motivation. And, like, you can't keep saying the same thing year in and year out. Oh, use this as motivation for next year, because, like, next year is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised. So what are you going to do it now? And who knows where everyone want to be next year? Like, I don't know. Like, no one knows. That's, like, the unknown, and that's just something you have to deal with in life. And I think we just have to all take it day by day and, like, just try to encourage each other and just be in touch with reality and just know who you are. And this is a game of football, and a lot of people's livelihoods depend on it, but it's not your entire life. But you also need to, when you're getting paid to do a job, you got to do your job to the best of your abilities. I'm sure you guys can attest to it, and anyone who works a job, and if they're doing it to the best of their ability, and know how much it sucks when you're not getting the results that you prepare for and that you put yourself in position for. So it just sucks. Like, I'm grateful for the year, a lot of lessons, learned a lot, met a lot of great people. And it's just something that I always remember, but it's also a sore spot where you just, it's reality and you have to swallow it, even if it's a tough pill. So that's where we're at, and you just got to take it day by day. But I appreciate you guys.
Thanks for
Look, you appreciate him, and you appreciate the transparency and how real he was there. I'd imagine it's going to be a pill to swallow when he ultimately gets around to watching his film study from last night, because it wasn't pretty. When I say he was the leading tackler, I wasn't talking about last night. I'm talking about on the season defensively. It was between he and Teddy Buchanan before Teddy went down with the knee injury. But last night, Roquan finished with just 3 tackles, one of which was solo, and certainly one that he's going to want back, maybe more than one. I'm thinking of one in particular on Jaylen Warren, where he was initially just beaten. And we saw that from Roquan this year at times. Yeah, he had an AFC Defensive Player of the Week nod at one point. I think that was the Cleveland game. But Roquan over the last 2 years has had more forgettable plays than memorable. And for Agent Zero not to be the tone setter, even though he'll still be that guy that's addressing the scrum and he brings a level of physicality, there's no question about that. And he's had different running mates, right, between Trenton Simpson and Teddy Buchanan and all the revolving door that it's been at that position since Patrick Queen walked in free agency. But Roquan's got to be better. He reset the market. He's a very highly paid, highly compensated professional, both league-wide still, years after that extension was done, and team-wide in terms of cap hit. He's got to be better. I think he'd be the first to say it. And you heard, though, part of the greater issue when we start to analyze this team from 1,000 feet up throughout the course of the next several months of the offseason, I mean, he's looking introspectively here, and this is thoughtful and intentional, but it's also revealing. Quote, play in and play out. If your job is to do this, why can't you do this play in and play out, including myself? That's something we have to do if we want to ever get over the hump. I don't truly know what it is, and I'm searching for those answers as well. You can't keep saying the same thing year in and year out. Oh, use this as motivation for next year. Next year's not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. And guys, if this defense, the way that it's currently constructed, is back next year in this form, that'll be the greatest indictment of them all. They have to, we'll get there when we get there, but sweeping change is necessary for that side of the ball. And I think it starts, and I hate to say it because I freaking love the guy, I think it starts with the play caller. I don't think Zach Orr is ready. And we'll take a look at that in full over his first 2 years as a DC. And he's far from the only problem, but I think it has to start there. You got to go find a number one rusher. You got to go find another cornerback. Marlon Humphrey's future in Baltimore, I think, has to be up for look, he can come. Maybe there's a restructure to be had. Maybe there's perhaps a repositioning to be had with him. he really struggled this year. And we'll get to his unfiltered post-game raw response in just a bit. But more reactions from you pouring in via super chats. Captain Hard writes, Loop constantly having kickoff blunders tells me he's in his own head, and that miss did not help. I'm just so sick today, going to have a bad week. Nikita writes, the defensive collapse last night was criminal. Poorly called plays by our coordinator. If anybody's job is in trouble, it should be his. Again, Black Monday, NFL Black Monday has already begun. Kevin Stefanski is gone in Cleveland. Raheem Morris yesterday is gone in Atlanta. Several other coaches obviously were fired before the season even ended, like Brian Dable in New York. So we'll see what happens in the other New York team with Aaron Glenn. That was a putrid first season for him with the Jets. Just ask my pal Jake Asman how he feels about that. So there's a lot happening right now across the National Football League. Olu writes, that's Loop's job. No excuses. Not asked to tackle. Just kick. The worse the situation, the better he is supposed to be. I bet Justin Tucker was happy. Olu also writes, we rode Mark last year. It's Loop's time. Ravens versus the Steelers always comes down to 1 to 3 points. Usually it's his job. Shit, it was 44 yards. He was 100%. But not in this moment, Olu. And where I push back is, yes, at the end of the day, he is paid as a professional to make from 40, from 50, whatever, right? But that is a pressure-loaded, pressure cooker situation that until you're in it, until you have those battle scars, until you have that muscle memory, until you have that confidence instilled from within, it is impossible to simulate and foresee how you will act, how you will channel in that moment. And so my thought, and this is where Sarah and I went south last night, is understand that as a staff, as a special team staff, as a head coach, and get extra yards. You have all your timeouts. You have the ample time. Put him in the best possible situation for as much of a walk in the park as it can be, which it could be a chip shot for all I know. Chris Boswell missed right before that, and it was a PAT. And he might be a Hall of Famer one day, Chris Boswell. Set your rookie kicker up for the most walk in the park moment that you can give him so that it's as routine as possible. I get it. He hadn't missed from 40 yet, but he hadn't been put in that situation. And until you're there and until you feel that ridiculous amount of astronomical pressure, I think you have got to set your rookie up for more success than the Ravens did last night. Ultimately, he is paid. I think two things can be true. He is paid to make kicks like that. He was not set up for success last night, and I stand on that. For fuck's sake says they should just fire all the coaches and hire the chat to coach this team. We got all the answers. For fuck's sake, something tells me you do have all the answers this morning. Captain writes, coaching, we don't change culture. We'll have a worst season next year. Do we not remember players saying the first game they felt like it was over? How about the Buffalo hangover? I mean, when we go back and study this season, what happened in the divisional round a year ago, the fact that that's even still part of the conversation is ludicrous. Olu writes, where's the dumb ducks that want Snoop on the field? That would be Hall of Famer Unk. I believe he wanted Snoop out there. I still see talk that Lamar didn't play well. What the fuck? We should have tried to run once or twice more to get closer with Henry. Olu, you walking yourself back because a second ago you left me a super chat ripping me for that, huh? He says, damn it, Harbs. Crazy. I love you, Olu. I appreciate you guys for being with me under the circumstances. And I'm going to go off right now before I bring Trey on the program because the live chat is really bothering me. If you think so little of me that because I have an online friendship with Steve Loop, who I've never met in person, that's the reason why I have the take that I do this morning, and I'm saying that two things can be true, go home. Go find a different channel. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. All right? You guys think that little of me when it comes to my commentary and what I've built here. We don't answer to anybody. We don't answer to the Ravens. We answer to our sponsors, and we answer to you guys because at the end of the day, you are our employer. You are our subscription base. You keep the lights on. You make this thing go. Comment all you want, but just know that's not going to fly without a response from me. That's some bullshit. And I'm going to call it as I see it. You guys can do the same. You call it how you see it. But if you truly think in your heart of hearts that this has something to do with my friendship with Steve Loop, go take a walk and another lap while you're at it. Trey, let's open up the guest lines. I'm getting hot right now, and I need you to calm me down. We're going to get into Marlon Humphrey right now in terms of his unfiltered raw reaction from last night. And Lamar was asked about his future as well, which certainly garnered a ton of attention last night. Trey, welcome to the program, brother. How was your meetup last night, first and foremost?
It was good to see everybody. And yeah, Bobby, you just need it. You're okay. You're okay. I get it.
Look, it's 3 hours of sleep is what it is. I'm not yelling. I'm certainly not yelling at anybody. I'm pushing back against what I think is it's a Bush League reaction. And it probably doesn't even warrant oxygen, but because I have time today, I'm going to give it that kind of oxygen. And I'm going to say this, and it's going to piss everybody off too. And then the floor is yours. I really, really sympathize and empathize with what Tyler is going through. I have no idea what it feels like this morning, but the way that he got up there and faced the music last night, it is nothing short of courageous. It's a consolation prize. If you're a fan, I get it. And you don't want to hear it today, but I'm old enough to remember, Chef, write it down on the crutch phrase bulletin board. I'm old enough to remember last year, several players, including Zay Flowers, who did not make themselves available, or maybe we're going back to the AFC Championship game. I can't remember now. Or Mark Andrews was last year. Zay was the year prior. That didn't make themselves available, and everybody let them have it. Tyler got up there last night, faced the music, answered every single question, went 7 or 8 minutes. I hope for his sake that this is a blip on the radar. It's obviously feeling like a lot more than a blip right now if you're a fan. Look, I just, the weight of the world right now is on his shoulders, and he has to wear that. He has to find a way through this. He's going to lean on his faith, he says, and I commend him, and I commend hopefully those around him who are going to be there for him at what's going to be a very, very challenging moment. So the floor is yours, Trey.
No. Yeah, I feel for Tyler as well. I feel like I'm not one of those Raven fans that would bash that whole moment. We shouldn't even been in that situation for the kicker in that situation. My thoughts, but yeah, we should have. I'm a little in between that situation with you and Sarah on. Should we got a little closer? I mean, it really doesn't matter, but at the same time, it does make sense for us just being as Raven fans. We're so used to Justin Tucker. He can make it from anywhere at any given time, game-winning kick. We know it's going to be guaranteed. So I think that sat in our head when you look back at game-winning kicks with time on the clock and you have timeouts in your back pocket, you get as close as possible. That's reality. I know that mainly because when you watch game-winning kicks and you get time, take advantage and get some more yards. I agree. But at the same time, they set it up for the perfect situation. So I could be on both sides of that. So I completely can see where there could be a combative argument between you and Sarah about it. But honestly, deep down, it's
Hey, Trey, you know what I don't like optics-wise? I don't like, and again, don't live chat, don't do it to me. I'm just sharing a thought on this in terms of how Lamar handled one of the shortcomings earlier on in that fourth quarter of Tyler Loop. I don't love the optics around this, and Lamar talked about it last night. Listen to this.
Tyler Loop after the game?
No.
You haven't talked to him?
No, I didn't. I talked to him during the game because I kind of was livid at him when he kicked the ball out of bounds. But I told him, I'm just hyped based on the emotions of the game right now. I felt like it was gonna come down to him, winning the game for us at the end because just how the game was going, He a rookie, It's all good, just leave it in the past, man.
Yeah. So we don't know what that actual interaction was like, but Lamar is suggesting that it was somewhat heated because he was in
it wasn't good.
The emotional moment of the game. That's the fourth quarter. That's the player that he just said himself is probably going to have a chance 20, 30 minutes from now in actual time, 13, 14, whatever time of game minutes to make the kick, to make a potential game-winning kick and send you the postseason. And and you're going up to him in game and sharing your frustrations and not building him up. Look, like, I don't want to spend too much time on that because we don't truly know what that moment was like. But build up a rookie, man.
Yeah, build up. You got to lift his spirits. I mean, I agree that Lamar, he probably did know that he handled the situation wrong, but it was just it's the heat of the moment. But at the same time, that's one of the biggest things I think about when it comes to Lamar. His emotions can honestly change the way a team can look at him. Like during a game, when you see his frustration, you see all that emotional frustration, it doesn't give the right feeding energy to a team. Like when you see Tom get mad about a mistake, he's like, all right, we're going to do better. Let's do this. Let's go. Not mad at that. We're going to keep going. Compared to Lamar, it's like, what? Like it kind of comes off. I know he's not saying it, but you can tell by the way certain times like the team performs and reacts to it. It's like a negative feel. It's like, oh.
And look, the chat's reacting accordingly. What you guys can do it, whatever. It's an emotional day here, but look, I get it. He's a grown man. I understand that. He's a professional. I get it.
Yeah.
But as the leader of the team, knowing that he may have a chance to win you the game,
you got to stay calm.
Nobody's ignoring. There is no one ignoring the fact that Tyler struggled mightily as a kickoff guy this year. Mightily. Whether it was the landing zone issues or just straight up inaccuracies or lack of pure strikes, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody's not acknowledging that. I've already acknowledged. I was the one that was acknowledging it all season long and getting killed for it because he was indeed a rookie and everybody was like, go easy on him. Well, guess what? Old habits die hard. And in the fourth quarter, you gifted Aaron Rodgers a short field where he was one play away from going across midfield. And that's exactly what happened. They gave him a short field to the 40, one play after, they're across midfield, and here come the Steelers. So I'm not going to take that abuse today, guys. I am not going to take that bullshit abuse. You want to know why? It's the same exact reason. It's the same exact reason for why I had the discussion last night with Sarah in terms of the pressure pack situation that you don't know how you're going to act and your staff doesn't know how you're going to act until it happens. Right? And when your quarterback is sharing an in-game frustrating moment that we don't know a ton of context on, but that Lamar was willing to share last night, what kind of mind frame does that put you in? Now, I get it. It's ultimately up to you to compartmentalize and get through it. And he did his best and obviously fell short in that category. But I'm not going to get dog walked today. So, Antonio, you can call it a clown take all you want, Antonio. The guest line access is open. There's a pinned comment in the live chat. Let's go. We're opening it up today. Trey, your final thought.
Hey, so honestly, my final thought, what really bothers me, I ended up watching some of football prior to the game. There was one game that stood out to me, and it just reminds me of a situation of knowing that it has to be Zach Orr. I'm just watching the Vikings game. I watched the Vikings game the past couple weeks, watching Brian Flores coach that defense. I'm looking at the players he has, and I'm just watching how they feed, how they react, how they play. It's something different. They play hard for the guy. And I'm watching the Ravens. The play calling, the situational defense is atrocious. It's something that's bothered me so much this whole year that I just didn't feel comfortable even when we got in the playoffs. Just because his play calling, sometimes the defense doesn't feel confident. This mindset isn't there. Sometimes they show up when they want to. And then there's moments where they all flash because it's just one player flashing and then another one flashes. So it just kind of feeds off of that. It's not a team. It's not a defense of just like, it's not there. And I actually thought about it. Like, I know I brought up my player was Darius Washington to show up. He missed that big tackle.
He struggled in the fourth quarter big time.
Yeah, he struggled big time. Tez Walker, I hit that first touchdown. But It's just
You did. I was thinking of you actually mid-game. I was.
You're like, dang, Tez. But no. But when it came down to it, I realized Zach Orr was he doesn't have the defense where I was going to even feel comfortable in the playoffs with him. That was just my big Achilles heel on that. But other than that, everybody else Lamar had the game he needed to have. I just didn't like how everybody felt towards the end. I liked everybody's response to when Harbaugh, when they said, how do you feel about him coming back? Everybody had the same response. So maybe that is an open door that it's possible, but we all know it's possible, but could it just actually happen? That's Steve's call. He has to either pull the plug, and it could be both of them, him and EDC. And EDC, yeah. I feel bad because he's drafted decently, but sometimes it's a package deal.
All eyes turn to the owner, my friend. That's a good place to stick a pin on it. Appreciate the call, brother. I hope you had a great night, and thanks for the call.
Always.
Guest line access is open. Appreciate you guys for being with me. I guess I need to build up Lamar now because I ruffled some feathers in the live chat. It was a comment. It was a comment that is not a take. It's an observation based on Lamar's thoughts last night regarding what he shared about his frustrations in game to Tyler after he sailed that kick out of bounds and set up a short field for Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers at their place in the fourth quarter. That's it. But apparently, when you say something that can be looked at as hypercritical, you have to then follow with a coddle session. So I'll do that because Lamar certainly was deserving of it. He was exceptional in the fourth quarter, and the Superman cape came out. He was 6 of 8 for 172 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, a passer rating of 156.3. And as Dante notes here, it was a historic game for him. He's the first quarterback in NFL history to lose a game after throwing multiple go-ahead fourth quarter touchdowns of 50 or more yards. Of course, he was on the wrong end of the classic Ravens-Steelers type of fluky, nuancy, like you just can't explain that bounce. When a Steelers defender tipped his pass, it bounced a bunch of different times. It's bobbled, it's bouncing, it's rolling, and it lands in the possession and grasp of course, TJ Watt. Now, Steelers ended up converting that into just 3 points, a Chris Boswell field goal. Bottom line is the Ravens did not win the turnover battle. They did not win the third down efficiency battle. They did not win the time of possession battle. And ultimately, when you miss with 2 seconds left in an expiring time, it's really hard to win games against the Steelers. And as a result, even though the Ravens had come in having won, 2 of the most important games last year, the regular season, they split the regular season series a year ago. And then, of course, the Ravens won in convincing fashion in the wild card round. But now, as you look back, Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh have still ripped off 10 of the last 13 against John Harbaugh and the Ravens. And that is not exactly how a rivalry looks in terms of win-loss record. That's the reality there in terms of where the series has gone in recent seasons. But again, to be clear, I thought Lamar's mobility, while it wasn't Lamar, I thought it was really encouraging knowing that 2 weeks prior, he could barely stand with that back contusion. I thought he was hesitant at times, and certainly, gosh, there was one time there in the final drive where, and of course they end up converting because Isaiah Likely is a hooper, and that was a ridiculous go up and get it ball that he caught. But what was going on between Lamar and DeAndre Hopkins on the left-hand side there where Lamar ends up airmailing it out of bounds because DeAndre wouldn't keep running? I mean, Lamar, first and foremost, had only one man to beat, but I don't know why Nuke just didn't keep running. He had nothing but daylight in front of him. He could have housed that for a 6. So while I thought it was encouraging to see some of Lamar's mobility, particularly in that first quarter when he had an RPO on the right-hand side, that showed some willingness and ability and physicality. I thought that at the end of the day, like we have seen in back-to-back postseasons when it matters, Lamar Jackson executed a legacy type of defining drive. And ultimately, someone outside of him, a peer of his, comes up short with the game on the line. Nikita Ross writes, the offense is cool. Defense can't stop a parked car. King Black 89 writes, Pittsburgh versus Baltimore is always a game of inches. Take the effing yards. Captain Hard writes, I understand, but he also did build him up by saying it's going to come down to you and where you're going to need you. Yeah, look, I think too much is being made of my comments a couple minutes ago. We don't know what the true interaction consisted of. We're just basing it off of what Lamar's comments are. And based on how emotional he revealed he was in that moment, like I'm sure a lot of you were, when he airmails it and sails it out of bounds, setting up a short field for Pittsburgh in crunch time in the fourth quarter, it just leads you to believe and wonder, where was Tyler's mind frame? Where was his mindset? That's it. That's all I'm wondering. Guest line is absolutely very, very saturated right now. The waiting room is cooking. I am going to have to open up the 60-second clock so that I can still prepare for the vault accordingly, which starts in 2 hours and 8 minutes from right now. But continuing with the trend of unfiltered post-game reaction, Marlon Humphrey had this to say about his play. This was a blunt self-assessment after a very disappointing season for the longest tenured defensive Raven.
Shoot, it could be a lot of change. Obviously this is a business. Their meetings, and they'll figure out, who needs to stay, who needs to go. Myself, I can really only speak for myself. I just wait and see if I'm part of the plans going forward, or if I'm not, and if I am, my standard of play this year just was not how I wanted. I've never been a guy that give up explosive passes like that, and you asked earlier about what's going through my head. I think I have, it just didn't really, the preparation I put in, the time I put in, the numbers I put in, I ran the fastest I've ever ran this past training camp, and it just nothing really matched up to kind of how I would performed on Sundays, and so it's going to be honestly a deeper study than what I've probably ever done, just trying to figure out what exactly was it. But the thing that's encouraging is, honestly, even during the game, I go over to Steelers sideline while somebody was down, and Mike Tomlin gives me a message, and it encouraged me I can still be a good player in this league. Teams still look at me like an elite player, and I can figure this thing out, and I'm not really too worried about it at all. But there's a lot going through my head, and I'm kind of rambling, but I'm excited to wherever I'm at to be playing football next year, and I think I'll be able to play at a very high level.
Ooh, quite the self-assessment there from the longest tenured defensive Raven, who was active and impactful early, making tackles in space early. The PBU on Marquez Valdez-Scantling early, but much like we've seen, late. Oof, not good in space, not good in coverage. I will never question this guy's toughness. Just a week ago in Green Bay, his pinned finger that had a pin placed over a month ago was stepped on by Tavius Robinson, and he still came back into play. I'll never question his resilience. But as he said, a very difficult study, an in-depth look at what went wrong this year lies ahead, and I can't imagine what that's going to be like as he tries to come to terms with perhaps what is reality for Marlon Humphrey after a really disappointing season. Yes, he did his best to withstand the test of attrition. Instead of getting the permanent procedure, if you will, he went and got a temporary procedure on that finger so that he could play through it. We'll see what lies ahead for him in terms of surgery options this upcoming offseason. But the longest tenured defensive Raven was very reflective last night. And at the end there, you heard that Mike Tomlin at one point in a break in the game is essentially trying to build him up, build up his confidence. he was asked to elaborate on it. He wouldn't in terms of what the specifics were. But the fact that he needed to be built up tells you that it makes you wonder, is there a level of shattered confidence for a once all-pro, a perennial all-pro at that? I think that's going to have to be looked at closely from a front office perspective this offseason. All right, guys, I gotta put a timestamp on you for the waiting room just so that we can be respectful to timing here and so that I can be prepared to put our best foot forward on the vault this afternoon. So 60 seconds. Try to be concise. I won't hold you to it and be strict. Maybe 120, depending on your thought and where you're at in your train of thought. But let's just try and be mindful of that for others. Appreciate you. Josina Anderson noting a short while ago that league sources have been anticipating, according to her sources, that potential change at the coordinator level in Baltimore could be in play. She says, stay tuned for the latest. Nothing surprising about that. I think it starts with Zio. Olu, good to see you, brother. Talk to me today, man.
What's up, man? Real quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, real quick. So, Tyler, Luke, okay, let's move past that real quick. I'm a fireman, so we're put into very dangerous life and death situations, and you have to have young guys to do their jobs. I can fuss at you at that time and still expect you to do your job. It goes both ways. So it's not to say that he's, Lamar can't fuss at him. It's just one of those deals where if I'm in my emotion, I can still say something aggressive to you. At the end of the day, it is what it is. He hasn't been in this situation, so we hope that he's going to make the field goal. 2, we crapping on our defense. We did stop on the fourth down play, and we held them to we held them, I thought, pretty good. My guy slipped and the guy caught a touchdown. Cheeto slipped, caught a touchdown. So, you can't really harp on that. Last thing, I feel like when I say we should have ran the ball a little further to get closer, we had 3 timeouts. Run the ball as far as you can to get it as close as you can. I think the guy, he might have missed if it's a 30-yard field goal. We don't know. Like you said, we'll never will know. But when I say that, I mean that with Harbaugh, man, instead of running Lamar to the right side, just run Derrick a couple more times down the A gap or whatever, just to see how far he gets. Or tush push, whatever the hell. Just get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more yards, and then use your timeouts. The Steelers had no timeouts, so I had a few more things, especially with Lamar and the way he played. To get through that sack and to throw that damn touchdown, that was our game. But I think our defense to not have Cal Hamilton out there, to not have certain players being banged up, I thought we did pretty good. And it came down to Cheeto slipping for him to score like that. So that's all I got, man. Y'all be careful.
But you want to know too, Olu, like even bigger than that in terms of when it was lost prior to those moments, those shortcomings from Cheeto and the turf and Tyler and his foot, was third down, was third and long situations, and that has been. I think we were just too far back on the passes. Like the call wasn't bad. We just gave up too much, like too much ground. If you're supposed to be 5 yards back off to play off, or you 7 yards back to play off in your area, you shouldn't be 10 yards back. That's just my thing. They were there. They allowed a dink and dunk offense that refused and just straight up could not test an opponent vertically because of the lack of bodies. They didn't have the horsepower to attack anybody vertically, and so they resort to dump offs, to check downs, to Gainwell, to Freiermuth across the middle. And 9 for 16 without DK Metcalf on third down. The defense could not get off the field. They were converting, allowing Pittsburgh to convert on third and long situations. We saw the exact same thing play out. Malik Willis and company the weekend prior in Green Bay, and it came back to bite them last night.
You know what, Bobby? I think this season can be summed up with this. It's the trenches. Whether it's our lack of pass rush, Marlon Humphrey is a damn warrior, man. He's a soldier.
He is.
Lack of pass rush. If we get a pass rush to where Marlon doesn't have to hold that long, if we get an offensive line, man, to where them guys aren't just playing like they're some ragamuffins, it's just the trenches, man. It's all it comes down to, and
Thanks,
and the lack. All right, man.
Appreciate you, brother. And guest lines are open. Frank Duncan writes, Lamar didn't lose this game. He put us in position to win. What are you talking about? Frank, use your ears. Lamar was asked about his future last night. There were multiple follow-up questions that he fielded from ESPN's Jamison Hensley. It is part of the job as a journalist. They don't know the next time they're going to speak with Lamar. One was about his imminent future in Baltimore, knowing that an extension has to get done this offseason. And the second follow-up was related to John Harbaugh's future and Lamar's preference on that front. Here's Lamar last night.
When we're going to be able to talk to you next after this. This offseason, there's a lot of questions about your contract, your salary cap number. Do you feel you'll be back as the Ravens quarterback next season?
We just lost a game, a divisional game, a game to put us in the playoffs. I'm not even thinking about that right now, to be honest with you. I'm still caught up in what just happened, That's not my focus right now.
Lamar, there's a lot of questions about Harbaugh's future as well. Do you want to see John remain the coach for next year?
You asked me about next year, Jamison. Like, I'm so caught up in what just happened tonight. I can't focus on that right now. I just told you. Like, he asked me, "Are you stunned?" I'm stunned right now. I'm still trying to process what's going on. Like, I know we lost, but what the that's all.
Fair questions, fair answers there from Lamar, who, of course, in that moment, less than 30 minutes after Tyler Loop missed that, just removed from, a highly emotional moment that, to his point, he was still processing. Fair questions, fair answers from Lamar Jackson, and obviously that sets up an offseason where, buckle up, there could be a lot of change in Baltimore coming. Speaking of change, the Bengals are not pursuing change. They will keep Zach Taylor and their director of player personnel, Duke Tobin, for the 2026 season. So while Cleveland pivots, while Atlanta pivots, no leadership changes in Cincinnati. Perhaps that's due to how much time Joe Burrow missed this season. But Zach Taylor and Duke Tobin will be back. We'll wait and see what happens in Baltimore. Guest lines are open. I appreciate you guys for waiting. A lot of you want to get in here, and I am attaching that 60-second clock. So if you could just be mindful and respectful of that for me, I'd appreciate it so we can get as many voices here inside the program on this day after. D-Rod, Happy New Year to you, brother. How you feeling today?
You can hear me?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of relieved just because, like I said, man, we've been having the same problems for years, man. And it's time that we need a new change, man. Like everything, I can call out the plays, what the offense is gonna run against us because we're playing 8 yards back. It's like just ridiculous, man. I'm just ready for a new change. I'm hoping that we can get some new guys in there. Zach Orr gotta go. John Harbaugh gotta go. It sucks, but he needs to, man. I'm relieved. As much as I'm upset, I'm not surprised. Like, you know what I mean? As sad as that sounds. And
who can blame you? And who can blame you for that? Look, I think there was a lot of people that I think that were rooting for last night. Like there's a difference between feeling relieved today, right, as you do, and rooting for a loss. Like some people were rooting for a loss. I think that's different than how you're feeling today because, like you said, it's the same old story. And right here maybe lies the biggest issue of them all, that without number 14 on the field, the Ravens defense folded. Kyle Hamilton left the game with a concussion. He was carted off the field with his head down. You wish him the best. I hope he's doing okay. But these numbers right here that Warren Sharp compiled with and without Kyle, oh boy, it's going to be a long offseason looking at this and how you build around Kyle to ensure that you can withstand potentially losing him again in that type of situation.
Yeah. I really hope if we get a change or not, that we can just get back to defense. We need to get back to that old Ravens defense. And I know that's hard because Ray Lewis is a generational player and all them guys, but we need to find that one edge rusher or defensive guy that just has guts. Roquan, I mean, we had a good beginning season with him, but he's kind of died off, man. He just looks like he's not, like he needs Patrick Queen or a good side buddy. But I'm not gonna hold you up any longer, man. But that's my thoughts. Thanks, Bobby.
D-Rod, good luck, brother. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you. Frank Duncan writes, fools just hate on Lamar. It's wild. Hey, Frank, have you voted in the poll yet? There's 4 different options that I gave. Lamar is not one of them. And there's a reason for that. Because he was exceptional, Superman-like in the fourth quarter when they needed him the most. Nobody's hating on Lamar. Get your head out of your ass. Who's most to blame after last night's loss, I said in the poll. And there are 4 different options that I gave. Zach Orr leads the way at 42%. I think they're going to move on from him. Tyler Loop is in second at 29%. Other, call your shot, is at 15%. I'm asking you guys in the live chat to tell me who that is. And Eric DaCosta gets 13% right now. I'm pretty disheartened, to be honest with you, by some in the live chat today. I am. I'm really, Frank. Here's the thing, Frank. And I'm glad you're here, Frank. And you said earlier on that you never missed a show. I'm glad, and I appreciate your support. I hope you call in right now, genuinely. Genuinely, I hope you call in. Because your take today, when it comes to the Lamar Jackson angle and evaluating his play last night, and the fact that you won't even be receptive to a simple observation that I had based on his comments, it's disheartening. It is. It is. So call in. The guest lines are open. And everybody's in here right now. Richard, talk to me, brother. Good to see you.
Hey, Bobby. I tell you, I mean, I didn't have faith in this team for the longest. The Ravens are starting to get me to start to believe in the fourth quarter, and they shit the bed like always. I voted for Arthur, and I'm voting for Harbs for the reason why we lost this game. And it's really an indictment across the entire season. Between having Cooper Rush over Tyler Huntley when Lamar was out, to keeping Zach Orr as long as he did, to not making changes on the offensive line. And we saw yesterday Emory Jones on both sides of the offensive guard, and each time they had push. So it's very, very clear we did not have the top 5 people in the O-line there. Personnel changes, I don't think we had the best personnel on the field, period. I think Ted should have had more catches. I'm looking at, the defense is playing the way that it is. There's no reason why that game should have been as close as it was. DK Metcalf was not on the field. They were playing, the Pittsburgh Steelers were playing, they're throwing passes to running backs and the second string, third string wide receivers. Why is this game even competitive in the first place? I can't even blame Tyler Loop because he shouldn't even have had the kick to ice the game. It should have never gotten there. The thing is, and I've said this, on other channels, I said this on PRP, Purple Rain Podcast. I sent a Q&A to Questions of Subs to Engraven. I'm just like, I didn't even want them to make it to the playoffs because I saw the same shit happening year after year after year after year after year. We're gonna choke in the playoffs. I don't think, if we win against Pittsburgh, I don't think we beat the Texans.
Boy, take a look at the graphic up here of the disturbing trend that you speak of here, and a lot of these moments, right? That either Vegas has viewed Baltimore as the advantageous group going into these games, or just games that on paper, roster construction wise, home field advantage wise, you name it, that they should have won. And Orlovsky took a look. I mean, and you can add obviously this one where they were favored by 3.5, 4.5, whatever it was when they went into the game. I think it opened up as 3.5, somewhere around there, where they fell short. They were favored in Buffalo last year. They were favored, of course, in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. And you can go back to, earlier on in Lamar's career as well. And I think, ultimately when there is a conversation to be had about John Harbaugh and this, bites at the apple phrase that we use when it comes to teaming up with this generational transcendent quarterback that is Lamar Jackson. This is a tough resume right here. A tough resume not to want to embrace change if you're a fan of this organization, if you're a stakeholder in this organization, and ultimately if you're a Steve Bisciotti atop this organization. It's good to see you, brother. Happy New Year.
Yep, Happy New Year.
Later, Richard. Guest lines are open. People are commenting, maybe understandably so, in the live chat about the intensity today. Some of that does have to do with the quick turnaround time. I slept for 3 hours. I don't mean to be overly negative. I get frustrated when I can't have, because you guys know me. I stick to objectivity. That's my goal. That's my main objective, pun intended, every single time I come on the air when it comes to Ravens coverage. And so when the name calling begins and the hater labels thrown out there, usually you can just withstand that blows, right? But on a limited night's sleep, given the magnitude of the moment, it gets a little frustrating. So I hope you guys will call in and share a thought if you have been a part of that commentary in the live chat, because I genuinely want to have that discourse. Let's keep opening things up. And yeah, it is a crash out kind of day, Mike, because I'm on no sleep, baby. Jawan Johnson's in the building. Double J in the cut. What's going on, brother? Talk to me.
Bobby, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, where the hell are you?
I'm at work, man. Out here in the cold, man.
Talk to us, man. Talk to us.
Yeah, I almost called the fuck out, man, but I got a lot, man. I'm gonna ramble a little bit just to get shit off my mind, but to answer your question, I feel like, according to Paul, I feel like it's Zach Orr. And I feel like it's Zach Orr because the built-in excuse is there's no pass rush, and that leaves your back end, accessible or whatever. But you know what I mean? I live by being a dog, bro. And if you're gonna be a dog, put me on the line as a DB, as Kyle Hamilton, as Marlon Humphreys. If I gotta guard for 9 seconds, let me guard for 9 seconds. Don't have me off the ball 7-8 yards in zone coverage, where when they catch the ball, my angle's off and I'm missing tackles. That's why I feel like it's all Zach Orr, because the philosophy was off. Let me die on my shield. If I gotta go out there and cover for 9 seconds and I get burnt, let me get burnt. Don't put training wheels on the whole game plan to where now we're off and they dunking and dinking. That should be man coverage. You catch it, you get hit. And like I talked about in the post game when you came on, Kyle Hamilton, he came on, he was like, it's simple, run and tackle. But even Kyle Hamilton was getting caught in coverage and missing tackles on 30, their running back, which was getting a lot of yards, where that should be a tackle. But we're out of position because we're in zone. That should be somebody's man off jump. So if he catches it, somebody should be hitting you. You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like, just to get my offensive, shit out, I think Lamar, he put that cape on right when he was supposed to, like y'all say. He didn't do it too early to where he was throwing crazy picks or making too critical plays, you know what I mean? But I think it was when he took that, I don't even think it was a design run. I think it was just fucking, I'm finna take it and get some plus yardage. He ran, he got smacked. And then he started going head to head with one of the defenders. That's when he put that cape on. Then he broke that tackle and then throw it to Zay, the first one. That's when he put that cape on. And they, like I say, it's more Zach Orr for me, because you got to put your players in position to where when you're one-on-one, don't. If anything, maybe a safety over top, but we should be running man. All that zone disguising stuff, that's not Raven football. It's one-on-one. Let's hoop.
Yeah, and you can't run zone against Rodgers. I don't care if he's immobile at 42. First of all, he scrambled. He scrambled last night effectively, and he ran for a touchdown on this team week 14, which tells you where this defense is. And if you play zone against him, he will pick you apart with a limited pass rush, and that's exactly what happened last night. JJ, stay warm out there, brother. Thanks for the call.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Over 2,100 concurrents and counting. We will have a vault episode. I appreciate you guys for being with me. Given the circumstances of what took place last night in Pittsburgh, Lamar was exceptional when it mattered the most. I will continue to underscore that. And that shakeout of multiple Steelers defenders, including Watt, and then to flush from the pocket and somehow find the wherewithal, somehow find the platform to perfectly, with touch, deliver that football to Zay Flowers in stride for 6 was the stuff of legend. It's one of the all-time highlight reel plays, given the magnitude, given the where they were in the game, offensively speaking. It was exceptional stuff from Lamar Jackson, the stuff of legend. Continuing to speak about the defense and what went wrong. Pittsburgh was 9 of 16 on third down. They were a dink and dunk offense last night. I have several plays that are highlighted in my notes. Rodgers to Valdez-Scantling for 13 on 3rd and 8. Awuzie in coverage. Not good enough. Ardarius Washington really struggled late, particularly against the Tampa 2 on 3rd and 8 with Pat Freiermuth. That led to a Kenneth Gainwell go-ahead touchdown, rushing touchdown, that is, in the 4th quarter. Look, Marlon was mossed at one point by Adam Thielen, who was cast off by his former team, Minnesota, earlier this season. One play later, a missed tackle led to a big gain from Jaylen Warren, which was a simple dump off that had Pittsburgh chilling in the red zone. It was a tough night for Marlon Humphrey, even though he showed up early with a couple plays in space, the pass breakup on MVS. It was too little, too late for a Ravens defense that mirrored a lot of what we'd seen the first 5 weeks last night. Back to the guest lines we go. Rave has been waiting for what feels like probably years and has been spamming me in the private chat as if to say, I don't deserve chronological order. I do chronological order. You're next, Rave. Happy New Year to you. I know I've already told you that many times. How are you feeling this morning? It's good to see you.
I'm tired of the BS. All of you guys, I told you so, I told you so. I said, I remember in the chat, if y'all remember my call last time, I literally said, do y'all want John Harbaugh back doing this again the next year? You know what you guys said? You lived in your delusional, Ravens fans. You lived in your delusional and said, well, it all can be forgiven if we make a deep run, if we go to the playoff deep run. What deep run? What deep run? How are we going to make a deep run if we can't go? Let me tell you something. Tyler Loop, right? He is see, let me tell you something. The biggest thing y'all always told me, and y'all always tell me this. Bobby said this. Everybody always says this. When you're a professional, it takes a level of high percentage. That's the biggest thing I like to throw to the fans' face. You don't know what it's like to be us. Well, guess what? Tyler Loop makes millions of dollars. He makes millions of dollars. He is a professional. Stop it. Now, secondly, this is why I always blame coaching. This is on John Harbaugh. You had the game in your hands. After Isaiah Likely made that catch, they wasn't distraught. All you got to do is get as close as possible so you know for sure he ain't going to miss it. You had 3 timeouts, all your timeouts. You had 30 seconds on the clock. So, yes, Bobby is right. You could have ran and got closer. You could have. You still could have. Not that Tyler Loop needs to be closer and can't make a 44-yard field goal. But as a coach, you can go, well, we can still get a little extra yards. Derrick Henry only had 2 carries in the 4th quarter again. So, yes. Now, this is where I agree with Sarah. Make the kick, motherfucker. Make the kick. In the chat, you're right. Make the kick. We wasted a premium draft pick on you. We drafted you in the 4th round. A premium draft pick for you, a kicker. We cut Justin Tucker, the game-winning machine. So let me tell you something, chat. I said it before in the last call I had. I said, look, think about it. Y'all try to tell me, oh, you only care about John Harbaugh's job. You should be focused on the deep run we're gonna make. I think all is forgiven if he makes a deep run. What run? He has failed us over and over again. John Harbaugh has failed us. He hired Zach Orr. He put Ben Cleveland. He cut Ben Cleveland. He put people on the bench. Emory Jones came in twice, and he looked better. He looked better than everybody. Falala was getting killed all day. Stanley was getting killed all day. The whole O-line sucks. John Harbaugh has failed us multiple times. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to fire the coordinators, get rid of some players, and we still going to have John Harbaugh selling us. I'm not a stupid person, fellas. Shit, Ravens fans, I'm not stupid. I know I act raging, I'm crazy, but I'm speaking facts about this damn team. We're gonna keep having the same situation over and over and over again. If we keep having John Harbaugh as our head coach, I'm out here, Bobby. I'm tired of this.
Thanks, Rafe. Appreciate you, Rafe. And he was pretty spot on there. Tyler was a 6th-round pick. 6th-round pick in day 3, just so we're being clear. Thanks to the call for Rave. Over 2,200 concurrents and counting. We're almost 90 minutes out from today's day after Vault episode. So we will have to wrap this thing up at some point here soon. So let's try and cook through the rest of the rest of the waiting room. Lots of conversation, lots of dialogue today. Yes, it's a crash out Monday. Chef has been waiting for a while. His bulletin board is full of material for me. One more super chat from Captain Hard, who writes, Mike Tomlin is coaching the Ravens players better, referring to what Marlon Humphrey shared with the media last night, that there was a break in the game and Mike was building up Marlon, essentially trying to reinstill, if you will, his confidence. Chef Trez, what's up, brother? Good to see you.
Not much, Bobby. I just want to say, in terms of the whole Tyler Loop thing, 2 things can be true. Yes, at the end of the day, you're a kicker. Your whole profession is to kick and make the field goals and to kick the ball inbounds when you're doing kickoffs and whole 9 yards. But at the same time, just like how 2 years ago when you were interviewing Josina Anderson at the Super Bowl, and she was talking about the Ravens' pressure management and how I believe she was saying that the Ravens don't really have a system of testing and making sure that like the players that we are getting are ready for these pressure situations. I feel like that's something that the coaching staff should have kept in mind for Tyler Loop. I mean, he's a rookie. He's a rookie who had throughout this whole season landing zone issues. 1 for 4 from 50+ yards. Obviously, the kick wasn't 50+ yards, but there's a little bit of inconsistency there. 1 for 4, and
Chef, he
about
had
a handful of missed PATs.
That one from 50+ that you speak of was week 1.
I mean, they're throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
And you sprinkle in the handful of missed PATs. To me, it's a no-brainer. Make the kick as easy as possible for him. If he still misses, that's on him. Now you're fully absolved because you're like, hey, we did what we could.
Yeah.
We got on the right hash. We got everything we wanted for him, and we also got some extra yards to make it a 30-something yard kick. I mean, NFL PAT, that's 32 yards. I don't think we're gonna make it all the way to, at least a 32-yard kick, but make it maybe like a 38 or 37. Hey, that's on Loop at that point, but that's how I feel. I mean, again, I've been saying I think it's time for John Harbaugh to go. I mean, just for players to say there's too many mental scars, too many this, too many that, to have 18 blown leads in the 4th quarter to just lose. I mean, it's just so many just coaching decisions, coaching mistakes. Keep Mitchell on the bench for like the 1st quarter of the season for some reason. It's time. It's time for change. Can't do the same thing next year.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Guest lines are open. I think a lot of people share that sentiment there from Chef. Tyler Loop did face the media last night, as you see on the screen. This is a screenshot from the Pittsburgh scrum that he was involved in with local media. And, of course, flanking him, Nick Moore, his long snapper, and his holder, Jordan Stout, in an interview that went 7+ minutes as he faced the music. Eric, what's up, brother? Happy New Year, dude. You're on the road. Hope you're traveling safely. Talk to us today, man. What's up?
Yeah, I'm on the road, getting ready to load up 2 cars after this. I just want to say, like, I don't know. It's like we can sit here all day and speak hypothetical and say, like, hey, if we would have just, got a few more yards. And in the moment, I said the same thing. But you also look at stuff that has happened over the season. If we look at everything collectively, Derrick Henry having fumbleitis syndrome, you also have the O-line, which hasn't protected Lamar. It looked like Lamar actually had beefed up over the season just because of all the hits he was taking. between the failure of the guards, and hopefully Emory Jones play out next year. But like we can't really put it all on Luke, and I can't sit here and say like that. I think I probably would have made the right decision too. Like, hey, let's put the ball in a safe spot so we give ourselves the best chance of winning. Because I know you can sit here whether you're a rookie or you're a veteran, and there's just going to be moments when things happen. I was just sitting in the fire the other day, and hey, me and my partner, we're sitting on the hose line. It's hot as hell. We're trying to back out because we can't see stuff. And then all of a sudden, as we're getting ready to back out, I stand up and I'm just getting hit from, and these things you cannot predict, but I get hit by somebody who's on another hose line from a whole nother room. And so now I'm trying to gather myself, and now I'm discombobulated, and then I got to go and sit out for the rest of the thing. So these things happens, whether it's like firefighting or you're playing the sports team, things happen that sometimes is just out of our control, but you got to make the best decisions possible. And I can't put it all on Coach Harbaugh either, because it's the players that's in between those lines. They're the ones that's
perspective, brother. Tremendous perspective. Appreciate your service. As I always tell you, it's great to see you face to face, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody. In case nobody tells you they love you today, just know that I do. And y'all be safe. It's tough out there, and I'm glad we made it through the season.
My man, I was hoping to see you Monday night when Houston Baltimore matched up in at M&T Bank, but unfortunately that's not the case. But it's good to see you nonetheless, and stay safe out there, man. Appreciate you.
It's coming. Yeah, y'all be safe.
All right, man. Eric, thank you. EB is with us today. Talk to us, brother. How you feeling?
I'm fully behind Rave, especially Rave, and Chef. It needs to be immediate change. Like, it's a hard reset. Like, I'm mad, but I'm not all that mad because I was already 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Good thing that this shit happened at the very last game of the regular season and not in the postseason. Hard reset. Everybody needs to fucking go. I'm tired. I'm tired of seeing the same bullshit. Everybody needs to go. John Harbaugh needs to go. You need to take that whack ass offensive coach with you, and you damn sure need to take big soft ass fish fillet with you as well, my friend. Thank you for your service. Pack your shit and get the fuck out of Baltimore. EDC, you may need to go with him because your drafting for the last couple of years has been shaky as well. Either your ass need to go or have the idea of Ozzie drafting the defense and you just worry about the offense. But you still need to get the trenches together. Everything, Bobby, starts in the trenches. And for the Ravens as a whole, falls in the trenches on both sides of the ball is fucking atrocious. And then you keep a fucking defensive coordinator, and I like Zach Orr. I didn't think he should be fired, but he damn sure should have received a demotion.
And now they could be looking at a change, according to Josina Anderson, which we're going to talk about on the Vault in 90 minutes time. I am up against the clock, brother. It's good to see you. Lick those wounds today. Stay in there, hang in the fight, and we'll catch up soon.
Definitely, Bobby.
Thanks, EB. Jack, you've been holding for a minute. Appreciate you for being here today. How you feeling?
Good, Bobby. Good. To answer your question, I put Loop as the reason we lost, but I don't think it's just Loop. It's probably a combination of everything that happened. But I have a question for you.
Yep.
In the sense of getting rid of Harbaugh and starting fresh, like, what does that do for the team? Like, Lamar's going into year 9. Like, there's just so much win now energy. A reset is going to set us back. Like, what do you think? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a very real scenario that goes into play, right? But like the way that their core is intact, to me, makes it more sustainable. Like, it, to me, the last several weeks when this started to come into focus, it's like, it's not a rebuild. It's a reset, to use your word. And I think that's, if there's anything encouraging about potential change that's coming, it's that you have, your core intact. You have Lamar Jackson pending a contract extension intact for the foreseeable future. You have Kyle Hamilton, the game's greatest safety, intact for the foreseeable future. You have King Henry, who is defying logic and defying history, intact for the foreseeable future. You've got Mark Andrews, who, yes, I know, has come up short in the postseason when it comes to overall performance and statistically and you name it. But he's a security blanket, and you can bet that Lamar wants him around. He's in Baltimore after the extension for the foreseeable future. You locked up Travis Jones, who's a top 5 nose tackle in the entire league. Nnamdi Madubuike obviously is sort of the elephant in the room. No idea what his future looks like. But I could keep going, right? Like Zay Flowers is going to get extended. And while he's not a number 1 wide receiver elsewhere outside of Baltimore, he fits what the Ravens want to do. And his rapport with Lamar, obviously, as we saw last night in street ball mode or improv mode or when things break down, is exceptional.
Next to none.
We've seen that. So that's why it's like, to me, this is sustainable. And they can withstand potential change, and it might be a necessary evil. Why am I sitting here thinking that it's going to be a coordinator level and not at the head coach level, though? We'll wait and see.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the big question, right? Do you think it's the offense that Todd Monken's running? Do you think all those miscues and missed opportunities and misleads are his calls and the miscommunications there? Or is it John Harbaugh's messaging that's kind of been like what we've all been talking about the whole season? Like, where is the disconnect?
Crazy thing, Jack, as you read the tea leaves, Jack, I don't think John lost his locker room this year.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I was never a Harbaugh hater.
But Roquan's comments ring very, very loudly.
Yeah.
And if you guys listened to Roquan last night, and we will dive into this deeper inside the vault in 90 minutes time, Roquan being at a loss as one of the team's defensive captains, as the leading tackler, as somebody who's one of the highest paid individuals on this organization outside of Lamar, the fact that he's searching for answers, the fact that this is the same old story, the fact that this is a defense that could not simply come into form outside of the 5-game winning streak against lesser opponents, only one of which is playing this month in meaningful football in the Chicago Bears. And Roquan's included in this. That might speak to something bigger that could require change when it's all said and done. It's great to see you, brother.
I agree. Great to see you too, Bobby. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Wes, talk to me.
This all happened because you talked shit on Alabama last night, Bobby. I just want you to know. I heard that.
I was hoping you did. I was trying to find your in the Discord.
Oh no, I commented on there. I was like, "Hey, we don't need to be talking about shit in the past. We don't need to be bringing up bad vibes."
I was loving it. I wanted a response badly. I'm glad I got
it. Listen, I'm sad, Bobby. I'm sad. Heart. Last night sucked, and I'm sad because this is the team I don't even enjoy watching football. Like, I don't enjoy watching them. The offense doesn't look good. The defense doesn't look good. The special teams don't look good. It's a shit product, or at least it has been all year. Yeah. And it's just a team I can't enjoy watching. Thank God it's over, I guess, for the season. But I'm even sadder because I get this dark feeling that we're just going to see a change in coordinators, maybe, and that John Harbaugh is going to stay. And to me, that we can't do that. I really feel like we need a reset because we've seen a culture over the last several years of losing when it matters. I feel like we've got like a soft team, a weak team. Like, you fumble a ball and then everybody just starts crying on the fucking sidelines. Like, guys, pull your balls out of your fucking pocket and go play fucking football. Like, this isn't like, why are we acting like fucking high schoolers fumbling the ball? And then all of a sudden, oh, we've lost the game. Like, no, there's 4 quarters of football and we just give up. Something bad happens, we give up. And we can't sustain that.
Take a look at the screen. I mean, is this not what you're referring to right here? Orlovsky put together all these losses in crucial situations in the month of January throughout the Lamar era, that they've fallen short in games that not only does Vegas have them winning, but on paper, they got no business losing. And a lot of this is because of self-inflicted shortcomings. And we saw it again last night.
But it's not even just in the games. Like, self-inflicted mistakes are leaving Daniel Fa'alele in all season. Self-inflicted mistakes are keeping Keaton Mitchell on the bench for a month. Sure. Self-inflicted mistakes are not taking guys out whenever they can't make a fucking tackle. Self-inflicted mistakes are hanging on to coordinators for years too long. Self-inflicted mistakes are not running the fucking football in the AFC Championship game. But this is stuff that goes past coordinators and it goes straight to the head coach, because we've seen it with Greg Roman. We've seen it with Cam Cameron. We've seen it with Todd Monken. We've seen it with different guys. We've seen it with different quarterbacks. We've seen it with, like, it all falls back on one guy. And to me, I know everybody says it. I'm just echoing what most people's thoughts are. But John's got to go, and if we don't have a change, I don't see anything different happening next season. In fact, we might see Lamar try to get out of Baltimore, possibly. Like the vibes are just not great right now.
Thanks, Wes. Appreciate it, brother. Lick those wounds today, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you in 90 minutes, my man. No more shots. No more shots for the time being. I'll let you be. Thanks, Wes. Big Bama fan. Tough weekend, though, for Bama last weekend. Super chats have come in. Richard writes, I'm sorry, trash take. It isn't a setback. The trend on Harbs is regression. He goes as his offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator go, and it's clear he doesn't know who the right guy is. Richard also writes, EDC should be blamed. Look at the Ravens cap. Thanks, Richard, and appreciate all of you guys for being here today. I want to say thank you to ZipRecruiter for the continued support of the program this month. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about them before we get back to the guest lines. Judah, I'm coming to you in just a second. If you're hiring for your company, this is a busy time of year because you got 2026 goals, and that means finding the right people to accomplish said goals. You also have new hiring challenges for the upcoming year, like filling specialized roles or identifying qualified candidates from a huge pool of applicants. Lucky for you, there's a place that you can go to help you conquer these challenges and achieve your hiring goals, and that is ZipRecruiter. You can try it for free today by visiting ziprecruiter.com/audio. Let them help you find the best people for all of your roles. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day, and you can try for free today by visiting ziprecruiter.com/audio. It's the smartest way to hire. It's ZipRecruiter, and you can try it for free today by visiting ziprecruiter.com/audio. Thanks to them for the continued support of both of our programs, and that does include the Vault, which is coming up in under 90 minutes from right now. Judah, talk to me, brother. Day after. You've been waiting. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, man. Listen, I've been listening to what a lot of people were saying in the chat, bro. I mean, well, on the live just now. The last guy you talked to was the closest to, I think, had the best points of what I think is actually going wrong. Everybody's saying that Luke is to blame. You cannot blame a rookie kicker for the entire season being lost and not making it to the playoff off a single kick. That lets you know all season you have been making mistakes if it came down to a rookie kicker and one kick and all of your dreams landed on one kicker. The reason why we needed this one game just to make it into the playoff is because even after Lamar went down, we dropped two or three games having Cooper Rush in over Tyler Huntley. That's a mistake. We went a whole season without Tez Walker, and I don't care what nobody says, who has been shown to be our most explosive wide receiver, including Zay Flowers. Because if you look at how many touchdowns he has and the amount of games he have them, nobody scores touchdowns easier and more consistently than Tez Walker. And nobody is more consistently on the bench than Tez Walker. That's another mistake. Early in the season, having Owe in, we've known for seasons now that Owe's time here was done. It took too long to move on from Owe. No matter how you look at it, the problem that we lost this game is on John Harbaugh. It is personnel. It starts there because everybody say, "Oh, it's coaching." Well, what about coaching? Because some people would say, "Well, Zach Orr called bad games." He did. Some people would say Monken called bad games. He did. But that don't change the fact that they don't have the personnel in the game to be successful in the first place. You see what I'm saying? You can't sit up there and say that, oh, these guys call bad. Yes, everybody calls good games and bad games, but it starts at the personnel. For the very first time this season, you had Tez Walker, Lamar Jackson, Keaton Mitchell, and Zay Flowers playing together. And it's no mistake that all of those players showed up in this game to let you know what they could have been doing if they played together the entire season. Tez Walker scores a touchdown the very first play. The very first play, he scores a touchdown. Zay Flowers scores 2, I think, or I don't know, one for sure. You have Keaton Mitchell with the best kick return I've seen this season to put us in position to win this game. All of those players showed up, and none of those players have ever played together in the entire season. That is despicable that your best players have never played together until it was the last game of the season. And I do agree with everybody saying that the Ravens should have ran another play to try to get closer. Yes, that always makes sense. Somebody else said that, well, there's no guarantee he'll make it. That's true. But you still have, if you're smart, you still get closer. That's just the logical. If you have time to get closer, you get closer.
Thanks for the call, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Judah. A lot of interesting points there, and a lot of what we've covered right throughout the last 90 minutes as we get ready to put the finishing touches on today's show and get ready for the vault. There will be locker room cleanout at 2:00, according to the beat reporter. So again, a locker room cleanout at 2 p.m. That typically comes with a lot of reaction, a lot of exit interviews, if you will, and potentially more news and raw, unfiltered observations, self-assessments, feelings, you name it. It is going to be a very long offseason for the Baltimore Ravens. We will begin the vault in 90 minutes time talking about Josina Anderson's reporting, and I'm going to reach out to her in just a couple minutes to see if she'd be willing to come on and chat more about what it is that she's talking about, according to her sources, with impending change coming to Baltimore. I want to say thanks to Preston Automotive Group for the continued support of the program. If you haven't already done so, scan the QR code in the upper right-hand corner. And if you're in the market in 2026 for a new or pre-owned vehicle, I hope you'll consider working with one of the many dealerships, one of the many locations all throughout the DMV, including a hefty presence on the Eastern Shore, all throughout Baltimore and greater Baltimore, including Delaware, Northern Virginia, you name it, all throughout the DMV. Preston has a presence, and I want to say thanks to them for continuing to power this channel. Guys, if you haven't already done so, please join the Bobby Baltimore Discord server. It's a 24/7 hub for conversations surrounding Baltimore sports, and there's a lot of chatter going on, obviously, the day after. It's free to join. I just updated the live chat as a pinned comment. And as you can see here, right up until this moment, there's chatter, there's discourse being had, and that'll continue to be the case as we get ready for the days that are ahead. And 1,090 members is where we're at. So go ahead and join if you haven't already done so. I just updated the pinned comment. I'll go ahead and drop that into the live chat just in case that you can't see the pinned comment from where you're watching right now. And maybe you can join that community. It's a great space of like-minded sports fans, particularly Baltimore sports fans. So with that, I'm going to go get ready for the vault. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Obviously, this was a highly emotional episode. There was a lot of opinions shared. Everybody's on limited sleep. Everybody's running on fumes, trying to make sense of what we watched unfold last night in Pittsburgh. And the Ravens fall short of the Steelers 26-24. They've been eliminated from postseason contention and now face a lot of questions moving forward this offseason. Locker room cleanout will be later this afternoon. It's going to be a busy day. I'll probably be live again later on this afternoon. So buckle up. I'll see you at 12 noon in an hour and 17 minutes from right now inside the vault. Please like the video if you could on the way out. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership should you feel inclined. And thanks, guys. See you inside the vault in just a bit.